order to take off the under tray, you need to remove the 17 clips, 7 10mm bolts, and 2 hex 6mm bolts. Disconnect the 3 nuts for the lower ball joints on both sides. The battery out, it's time to disconnect the top portion of the transmission. Now to remove the shifter cables, you need to remove the 2 pins and the bolts that hold down the bracket. Slide that your way, and don't forget the plug for the harness down there. Now we got to remove the harness and the harness brackets. There's 1, 2, and the third one in the back. Once you disconnect the harness, you can take off the slave, 2 bolts, and 1 10mm nut right there. That way you don't have to break off the clutch line. As you can see from the passenger side wheel well, you can get easy access to the starter. Once you take off the starter, directly above it there's one more transmission bolt that needs to get taken out before you can remove the transmission. I'm going to take off the transmission mounts. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Put your pennies to the side.
Stock flywheel, disc, and pressure plate, all with the Honda 9 PSI tune with about 3,000 miles on it. Still works. I just decided to finally just upgrade the clutch because I'm ready to go turn up the boost. Alright, so I finally got the clutch out of the SI and I brought it down to a local company, Clutch Masters. They're not local to everybody because they're well known. I've used them for many years, especially my old S2000. And I have Alex with me to help me figure out what clutch I can use for the brand new Civic. So, do you guys have a clutch yet?
Yeah, we do. We're actually the first company in the US to make a performance clutch kit for the SI, for the brand new SI. We made a new pressure plate, right? New disc. We have discs from the FX100 all the way up to the FX400. We're working on the twin disc. Sick. And we're gonna make one specifically for you, because not every clutch kit is the same. So we're gonna make one specifically for your driving style.
Alright, that sounds good, man, because, you know, I'm not trying to make the most power, I just want it to be streetable, and still, I like to take it to the track. So I picked up my new clutch from Clutch Masters. Their kit for this car actually only comes with the pressure plate and the disc. But from what they tell me, that's pretty much all the car needs to handle the new power, or additional power that I'd be adding to it. Here's a side-by-side shot of the pressure plate from Clutch Masters and the OEM SI. And also in the back you have the stock flywheel from the Civic SI. Take off the pressure plates. Here you'll see stock disc versus the upgraded disc that I'll be running for this car. I got the new bearing, put a little bit of grease. Time to reinstall it. I got the flywheel back on. Now it's time to torque the bolts. Don't forget to torque the flywheel and pressure plate once everything is installed.